Hi, I'm Linda, and today I am at Carpe Real Estate, where I will be speaking to a leading expert at San Joaquin Valley Mortgage who can help us to understand everything that's going on in the housing market today. Hi, I'm Linda with Jazzed Up About Bakersfield, and I'm so excited to be here today with my special guest, and I'm going to allow her to introduce herself.
Hello, my name is Michele Cooper, and I'm the sales manager for San Joaquin Valley Mortgage.
Welcome to Jazzed Up About Bakersfield. I am really excited to talk to you today. There are a lot of misconceptions out there about what's happening in the housing market, and I know you have answers.
I do. So we just went to an update on the market yesterday, and the news is pretty amazing for Bakersfield. I know people are sitting there thinking that the market's going to crash and that we're going to go back to 2006, and the answer is we're not. We're not going to do that again. Since that happened, the government stepped in and has taken care of making sure we're not doing bad loans, making sure we're not doing those weird loans where you actually pick a pay, where you get to pick interest only or half of interest payment or just whatever. So, they got very creative back in 2006, and we're not doing that any longer. A person that qualifies for a loan they fully qualify for a loan. And if something happens to them, they still qualify for their loan. It's kind of funny. They gave us statistics stating that 98% of Americans are still making their mortgage payment.
That's, wow.
Yeah.
That's a great stat. That's actually speaking to we're pressing on. We're pressing through this moment
We are.
in history.
We are. And, why are people making their payments? Well, of course. I mean, if you kind of watched interest rates for the last, 24 months, COVID was not a great thing, but then in some ways it was a good thing. It really helped our housing market here in Kern County.
Absolutely.
And, rates did dip into the 1% range. I mean, could you ever believe that?
No.
Right? When I bought my first home, my interest rate was 12.75, and it was a variable. So, you think about that, and compared to today's rates at 5%, I have a great rate right now. So why wouldn't you buy a home?
Absolutely. And while we're talking about buying a home, can we back up just a little bit and talk about how you actually got into this profession?
So I got into profession when I was a little girl. My aunt was a realtor, and it was fascinating to watch her. She did not drive a very nice car, and she dressed very nicely, and she met a lot of nice people, and I just looked up to her thinking, wow, that's pretty amazing. And I didn't fully understand what she did for a living, but watching her, I thought, well, that'd be pretty cool. Well, life happens. I grew up. I went to college here in Bakersfield. I graduated from Cal State Bakersfield. And my very first job, I started working for Kern Schools Credit Union, which now is Valley Strong. I was there for over 20 years. I started on the teller line. I was there for 6 months, and they asked me if I would like to go work in the home loan center. And I thought, well, I don't know. What does that mean? So I started at the very lowest position, which all I did was run people's credit. And it just got interesting to me watching people come in, apply for a home, and watch them get those keys and just how excited everybody was. And I thought, maybe I want to do that. And the rest is history, because now, 35 years later, I'm still in this business.
Wow. And I bet you the experiences are probably just as exciting when you help a customer, a client, achieve their home goals.
Yes, it is. What warms my heart the most about my job is that, we're able to help people get into a home that they never thought they could do. I helped this one young lady, she started out with credit that just wasn't going to get her into a home quite yet. Single mother, she didn't make a lot of money. She saved up a little bit, and she didn't have much to use. But with our programs that we have, we were able to get her into our first-time homebuyer program, and the loan took care of her down payment and her closing cost, and she got the keys to this beautiful home. And when I met them that day to get their keys, her little girl got out of that car and she ran towards me and she gave me the biggest hug and told me, I love you. Thank you. And I'm not going to lie, I started crying because it was amazing to be able to see that we can get this family into a home. And that means everybody can buy a home. Just because right now you can't buy a home, maybe because, you're not making enough money, you don't have enough money saved. Maybe your credit has a little bit of a blemish to it. But my job is to help you fix all that and to work with you and get you into a home. So it might be today we get you a home, and it might be in 5 years we get you a home. But you know what? I'm into it the whole time you are. So I'm not going to drop you because it's like, oh, you can't buy a home right now? Goodbye. I'm not going to be that type of a loan officer. I want to do my job because I care. And that's why I think I've been in it so long, because I do it for making people happy and seeing that big smile on their face and, giving them those keys. It just warms your heart. It's not about making that quick dollar and move on. That's not what it's about. I would say 95% of my clients are my friends now. So we still keep in contact. We still call. They send me their family and friends. And so it's just helped me build my business.
That's wonderful. And you've touched on so much, because working in real estate, you are there for one of the largest purchases that family is ever going to make. And you become a part of that entire moment and season in their life. And that just, like you said, it warms your heart and makes you feel really good. And so being in the loan industry, you as well as I get to experience that. So Michele, you just explained how you are able to help people whether they're ready today or 5 years from now. And that might be one of the misconceptions people have about people in the mortgage industry. What are some other misconceptions people have?
So, people think that we make a lot of money, we drive fancy cars, we have big houses, and that is so not true. I live a life just like you do every single day. I have a family, I'm a mom, I work full time, I have all those duties like everybody else. But people think that we make a lot of money and that is a quick dollar. And, if you're going to go into our business thinking that way, you're not going to succeed, because it's not really about that. It's really about helping people get their American dream, and that's buying a home. And so, people just, think they want to get into our business because, number one, you don't have to do any schooling. You don't really have to have any knowledge of our business. You just feel like you can jump in and just start making that $100,000 in the first year. And it just doesn't come that way. It just takes time. And it takes a lot of time just to grow and to learn. Because every day in our business, you're going to learn something new. Absolutely. Even after 35 years, I still learn something new. And maybe that's why I still like my job, because it's not boring every single day. It's challenging. And another thing is people don't realize that we're working with couples and we're talking about their financials.
Right.
We're talking about what's in their bank account. We're asking personal questions. Right. People might be getting divorced. People might owe money to the IRS. There's things that people don't want to share to others and don't want people to know about. And so we really have to sit back and be a counselor and just have that ear, listen to what they're trying to tell us. And, some people, again, they just want the quick sell. They want the quick close. And they don't really care about how people really, truly feel. But this is, like you had said, the biggest purchase they're going to make in their lifetime. So we're talking about a lot here. And you can't just take it, like it's no big thing, because it's a lot.
It's a huge step for people, many people. And oftentimes if you work with people, it's their first step into home ownership. So as you mentioned, being in the mortgage and housing market, it's a service industry, but it's also a heart situation. Because you have a heart for people, you'll succeed.
Absolutely.
You become a trusted partner and friend for life, as you mentioned. So, Michele, there are lots of mortgage companies out there. Some are national, some are smaller and local. Tell me, why should people work with small lenders or local lenders?
Why? So my answer would be this. To work with a local lender is really important, especially nowadays, just because a lot of people are making offers and it's so easy for you nowadays to go online. The internet's where everybody's going nowadays.
Right.
And you can go online and you can click a button, you can apply for a loan. Okay? Well, that's easy peasy, but they're probably could be in Alaska, they could be in Tennessee, they could be anywhere, right? But they're not here in this community. So they don't know what we pay in property taxes. They don't know what insurance looks like here. They don't know what they really need to do to qualify here in California and then also in Kern County, because it's different to qualify for a loan in Los Angeles than it is in Bakersfield,
Right.
or in San Francisco to Bakersfield. Those communities are quite different than we are here in Bakersfield. And so a local lender is a good thing because, number one, I'm here, you can see me, you can come and visit with me, and we can talk about personal things behind a closed door. You know, again, these large banks, you know, like if you apply for a loan with Wells Fargo, you know, that's a great bank. And, you know, my dad was 100% all about Wells Fargo. But if you have to call a 1-800 number to apply for a loan, and you're going to do everything over the phone, and that you're not going to talk to the same person every time, I mean, that doesn't give you the warm and fuzzy.
Right.
And so being a local lender, and we're a broker, we can do all the work for you. So you don't have to go on the internet and apply for a loan. What we do is we run your credit one time. We don't run it again. And then we do all the searching to find you the best interest rate, the best loan product, and the best of everything we can offer you. If you apply online with these other national companies, what happens is sometimes when you go on the internet, you do that once and thinking, okay, that was all they're going to do. Not realizing that 15 people behind the scenes got your social security number and now they've run your credit.
Right.
So then when you do actually get a true copy of your credit report, you have 15 inquiries on there and you're like, how did that happen? Well, unfortunately, because you put it out there, that's what's going to happen.
Right.
So you might have taken that score from a 700 down to a 580 because you had all those inquiries on your credit.
Wow.
So you just took yourself out of the game. Or if you didn't take yourself out of the game, you took yourself from an interest rate that was a 5% to an interest rate that's 6%, just because of that one little thing that you didn't know about.
That you didn't know about. And a local lender can school you on all of those, you know, advantages and tidbits. Michele, can you tell us about some of the programs and services San Joaquin Valley Mortgage has to offer?
Yes, I sure can. So we are a full service mortgage broker, which means that we can do all the loans that are out there. So your conventional, your FHA, your VA, USDA, first-time homebuyer programs, and then we also offer private money lending. And so to touch a little bit on private money lending, that loan is out there for people that have the money to buy a house, want to buy the house, but maybe something happened. They had to file bankruptcy. Maybe they just had a foreclosure happen, unfortunately. Maybe their credit score is 400. Could be any one of those reasons, but we do have investors that would lend you money still. So you still can get in the home. Now, they're a little scary, I'm not going to lie. You know, they require like 30% down, and the interest rate could be something about 10%, which you're like, oh gosh, why would anybody do that? But if you have the ability to buy a home, this is just like a Band-Aid for you. So what it is that we get you into the home, and then we help you figure out whatever's needed to be done. You know, so it might be a time period for a foreclosure or a bankruptcy. It might just be a credit score fix. And so we just help you fix your credit and get you out that loan immediately. And being a broker, we can take you out of that loan and put you into a new loan, and you don't have to go anywhere else. But we also have the first-time homebuyer programs, which you hear a lot of people talk about, Platinum and CalHAFA and GSFA, all these initials. And those programs are set to help buyers buy a house. So what they do is they actually give you the money for a down payment, and they give you money for a closing cost. So you can get into a home as literally as whatever the deposit might be. So it could be $1,000, could be, you know, $5,000, just depending on what sales price you're looking at. But that's all you have to get in. You can get into a house for. So it can be very inexpensive. Now, of course, on those first-time homebuyer programs, they do come with a little bit higher interest rate. And that doesn't make sense, right? That's like, well, if you're a first-time homebuyer and you're trying to help somebody get into a home, why would you charge them a higher interest rate? Well, you have to think of it this way. Nothing's for free, unfortunately. And somebody's going to have to pay for it. So if I'm going to give you $10,000, there has to be something in the game. So it comes with a little bit higher interest rate. And if you were looking, to give you an example, and this is just an example only,
Mm-hmm.
if today's rate on an FHA was 5.375 on a regular FHA where you're going to put your own 3.5% down and you're going to do your own closing cost, and that's what that would look like. Now, if you're going to go Calhafa, first-time home buyer, now the rate's going to be something like 7.25%. So that's like 2% higher. But they are giving you that $10,000, and then they're giving you another $10,000 for your closing costs. So with them giving you $20,000, there has to be something in there. And so that's why the interest rate's a little higher. Now those loans are set for you to buy the home, and then once you've lived in the home for 12 months or longer, you can refinance and get yourself into a conventional loan, or whatever might be needed at that time. But we have every product for you. VA is a great one for the veteran. There's so much misleading information about the veteran loan. So VA is for our veterans, and they don't have to put a down payment. 100% financing for them. Their interest rate is the lowest interest rate that's in the market. And, sellers don't want to take these because they feel like, oh, we have to pay all their closing costs. Well, that's not true any longer. A veteran can pay all their closing costs. The seller does not. So there's no reason that a seller shouldn't be taking a veteran, because veterans actually come with really good credit scores. They can pay their own closing costs, and just because they're getting 100% financing, it's because we want to say thank you to our veterans. Absolutely. And why wouldn't we want them to get into a home? We would. So that's why I truly believe in that VA loan. USDA loan is for underserved areas. Okay. So areas that are just not as populated as other areas in town. The USDA is 100% financing, and so a person can get in for that, get no money down, and they have to do their own closing costs. And so that's another great loan, and that helps build up that area, and also helps somebody get into a home for a little bit less.
So just to go back, HAFA stands for California Housing Financing Agency.
It does.
Perfect. For those who did not know what that stands for.
Right.
It sounds like you have a vast majority of programs to service anyone who may want a home, should be able to get a home, whether or not it's today or in the future.
Right. And then also, one other thing is we can do an ITIN loan. And ITIN, another acronym, which means somebody doesn't actually have a social security number, but is actually able to work here. Okay. So it's an identification number for them. And they use that number to file their taxes with the IRS, just like we do. Okay. But since they have that, they're kind of limited for certain products, like normal conventional financing or FHA financing. But we are also able to do that. And then we also do offer for self-employed borrowers, because of course you're self-employed to make money, right? So they're punished because you take what you make, you try to write off as much as you can because you don't want to pay Uncle Sam, which none of us want to pay Uncle Sam. So we also can do the bank statement program, which means we actually get to take the consumer's bank statements for the last 12 months, 24 months, and take what their income is and use that for income.
Oh,
so it comes with a little bit higher interest rate. And the down payment on something like that is 10% down. Okay. But still, they can get into a home. Interest rates are slightly 1% higher than the going market. But again, it gets them into a house because now we can use all their income and not penalize them because they wrote it all off.
That's wonderful. Something for everyone.
Yes.
So, Michele, how can people contact you at San Joaquin Valley Mortgage?
Everybody can if anybody would like to contact me, they can contact me by my cell number, which is 661-900-2358. And I have this phone with me 24/7. So I always say this and people laugh, but you can call me at 5 o'clock in the morning and you can call me at 10 o'clock at night. Call me on the weekends because I'm that silly person that will answer it. And another silly thing about me is if you text me at midnight because you have a question, don't be surprised because I might answer it.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Michele, for your time and all the great information about what's going on with the economy, with the housing market, and how people can get into a home. I'm sure that someone will reach out to you and recognize their dreams.
Well, thank you for having me today. It was a great pleasure to be here.
Thank you. And if you're interested in participating as an interviewee with jazzed up about Bakersfield, please reach out to me at linda@homesbylinda.com or 661-243-0385.